Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Three Men and a Movie. This week, we're going to be talking about Death Wish. I just saw the movie, and I'll tell you, it's kind of a man movie. I mean, I know it sounds sexist to say it, but it kind of is. In the theater where I was at, other than myself and my buddy who went to watch it together, the rest of the dudes that were in there were all by themselves during the week. That's a man movie. Right? And these guys were all like 30 years old, middle-aged, so I guess there's a specific audience for this. I don't think that the younger audiences are really responding to Death Wish. Probably because guys our age remember the old Charles Bronson original from 1974 that actually had 5 sequels to it. So if you're wondering, if you have any inclination about whether this is another sequel or a remake or whatever it is, it feels like a remake. And they're testing the waters to see if it works so that they can continue doing sequels on it. Now, if you watch a Bruce Willis movie and he's doing action, you know what you're going to get. Now, he has some range. He has some comedic range and he has some dramatic range. But in terms of action, he's the die-hard dude. That's who you're going to get. So producers, when they hired Bruce Willis, and by the way, he was not their first choice. There had already been 2 or 3 projects already in progress that, for whatever the reason was, they kind of fell apart. Liam Neeson was actually one of the original ones of the projects for this new Death Wish movie that just didn't pan out. So they brought Eli Roth on as a director, and they brought on Bruce Willis. And so this team, for what I got to see, it worked. I'm not going to say paid for it. You can definitely wait for it. I mean, these guys that were in there with myself and my buddy watching the movie, they were probably escaping something else, trying to, hang out away from their kids or away from their responsibilities for at least a couple of hours. But you can definitely wait for it. It's a movie that you can watch at home. And with the old Charles Bronson Death Wish movies, I mean, the majority of people were not, flocking to the theaters either. They were watching it on VHS, renting it. I guess I'm aging myself with this, but I'm dating myself with this. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we did back then. So anyway, a couple of details about the movie. So it does star Bruce Willis. Elizabeth Shue is in it as well. And one cool, I don't want to call it a cameo. One of the cast members was one of the Breaking Bad cast members, which is good to see. The guy's name is Dean Norris, and if you remember Breaking Bad, he was Mr. White's brother-in-law. So it's a nice little thing to see him there again in the role, because he kind of plays the same character. He's a law enforcement guy. He's a detective. So that part I think you'll enjoy, especially if you're a Breaking Bad fan. But there were a couple of issues with the film. One particular scene that I can remember that I didn't quite like too much was one scene in the home invasion scene. Elizabeth Shue, from what I can remember, has been a good actress for a very long time. She was a teen actress, and she also starred in The Karate Kid. If you can remember, there will be an episode coming up about The Karate Kid because of the whole Cobra Kai trailers on YouTube. But anyway, Elizabeth Shue, I feel, knows what she's doing. Yet, in that particular scene, in the home invasion, she does a pause and looks toward the camera in a very awkward way. And I don't know, I can't believe that Eli Roth didn't, see that in the dailies and go, oh yeah, maybe we should reshoot this scene about 10 more times to get it right. Unless there was a feeling he was going for, but I really don't understand the vision there. So that's one issue I have. Another issue is there's a particular scene where Bruce Willis seems to be down, and it seems like, okay, he has no options. He's going to get not only caught, but possibly killed. And then a bowling ball magically rolls off of a shelf and hits the bad guy on the head. That was a little goofy, cheesy, cartoony for me. It took me a couple of minutes to get over what I had just seen when I saw that. Otherwise, it's an action movie. It's a shoot 'em up. He shoots guns. He fights. And that's what you're looking for if you go watch Death Wish, and that's what you're going to get. So, like I said before, don't necessarily pay for it. You can save your cash and just wait for it, stream it later. A couple other notes here. There are some political messages within the film. Obviously, right now in the country, we have a lot of issues with gun control and things like that. And this doctor, takes matters into his own hands and actually gets a bunch of illegal guns and uses those first, and then at the end finally gets a gun for his own home protection. So you could say that there is a political message going on here. But really, if you're watching the movie for entertainment, don't focus too much on that, the politics of it. It's a guy whose family is involved in a home invasion, and his wife gets killed. And now he has to do whatever it is he needs to do to make sure that it doesn't happen again and protect his family. Where he becomes a vigilante is where he kind of takes on all of the criminals in the city, in Chicago especially, which we know is a city that is plagued with criminality. And he takes over and he takes on the whole city. That's where the politics start. And you will get a couple of radio hosts talking about the issue. So it can go in that way. But if you want it just for entertainment, you're going to get what you're looking for. It is pretty entertaining. And there is some, gratuitous violence. And if you go watch Death Wish, that's what you want. So, even though it is a recommendation, I'm telling you to wait for it. This has been another edition of 3 Men and a Movie.